last year, we have been able to raise an infrastructure pipeline which will be executed over the next 10 years, which overall works up to $100 billion. We are doing only bankable projects. Concept of equity, public transport and public good is how we, prioritize our projects. We are constructing 337 kilometers of metro lines. This is the largest single metro line network ever attempted at one given point of time by any given agency, single agency. Now by the Mumbai Trans-Harbour Link or the Atal Setu, you have opened that whole big corridor. And in that whole big corridor, now we are building what we call as Mumbai 3.0 or Tisri Mumbai, which is going to be a fourth generation city.
The esteemed panelists of this session, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome them on stage with a round of applause. Dr. Sanjay Mukherjee, IAS Metropolitan Commissioner, MMRDA. Namaste, sir. On behalf of the Trust Group and all of us here in the team, we thank you for your gracious presence, for taking the time out and joining us here this morning. A very warm welcome to you, Dr. Sanjay Mukherjee, ladies and gentlemen.
I would first like to go to Dr. Mukherjee and hear his views about the best possible roadmap for monetization of assets.
Thank you so much. The issue of money is something which is very important and something which is highly debated. I think more important than that is the issue of skill, of procuring the money, using the money, or rather managing the money, and ensuring that an adequate return comes out of that. I think that is a very, very precious skill, and that is something which is very, very short. And in the government sector, that is something that we really, really need to look into. Now, as far as this state of Maharashtra is concerned, we have been monetizing assets for a very long time. For instance, I'll tell you that there is a place where there is a Nagpur Improvement Trust where I had the good fortune of being the chairman. It was established way back in 1937. And in 1937, NIT has developed almost 2/3 of the city, and therefore the city is a planned city. And this thing has been done by its own resources. I was told so they invented these things like, development premium when nobody else thought of development premium. They invented something called as a betterment charge, that when I bring in infrastructure, then there is some betterment that happens. And when you sell your property, then everything comes on the property. So when you sell your property, you have to do that. Later on, when, entire Maharashtra got the Town Planning Act, so we had, land was essentially the asset. So first is development charge. Second was additional FSI, so sale of additional FSI, the development charge on the additional FSI. Then we invented something called as a transferable development right. A transferable development right essentially is giving us the ability to print notes. Because when I allow in any space TDR to be, or FSI, to be shifted from one plot of land to another plot of land, essentially I'm selling that plot of land, that much land to the other party. But there is no cash which is being used. So we started acquiring land using TDR. So for instance, if it is a DP reservation, so we acquire that land using TDR. So that is one mode of asset monetization. Then as things moved on further, then we started this practice. As we acquire the land, you develop the land, so your own land becomes expensive, and then you sell the land. So when you sell the land, we started this practice that you cannot hoard land. In Maharashtra, development authorities, government land you can take and you can build when you want. But land which comes to the development authorities, whether it is MMRDA, whether it is CITCO, whether it is PMRDA, NIT, or any such organization, you have to build it within a particular time period. Generally, it is 3 years and then 1 more year. So the land is auctioned as a lease, you raise money out of that. You get a lease rent, that is another thing. Third is that if you don't build in a particular time period, 3 years, then you have to pay an additional lease premium. So there is an inbuilt fine. So there is no advantage of hoarding land, because if you buy land from these agencies and you hoard it, then very soon the cost of your, or rather the additional lease premium shall be more than the cost of the land, So various mechanisms like this have been thought of for raising lands. Then we found that we are having encroached lands, and we found that we are having things for redevelopment. So then we gave again FSI, whereby the private sector came in. The private sector got in money from the market, and they were given additional FSI to construct saleable components. And by means of the saleable component, they would fund the redevelopment, and they would be able to generate a profit for themselves. Cut one step further, we brought in the Slum Rehabilitation Act. In the Slum Rehabilitation Act, you are essentially giving land with a defective title. The land is encroached. The land has a reservation. So here, the slum dweller is getting rehabilitated, but in return, the developer is getting a substantial portion of absolutely clear title, vacant possession, unencumbered land, and he's getting a lot of FSI, So all these mechanisms of land monetization have been brought in. And finally, when we started developing these, because Mumbai is a linear city, and essentially there was an eastern way and the western way. So we developed two expressways, the Eastern Express Highway and the Western Highway. Now, along these highways, the FSI was decided to increase. We brought in what we call as a transport-oriented development. Later on, we have brought in this whole metro network. Now we are building a network of 7 ring roads around Mumbai city. So all these things, we are bringing in a concept of transport-oriented development, two-pronged action. The societal benefit is this, that when there is higher FSI near the transit corridor, then people can walk to work. So you are having a societal benefit out of that. The other benefit is that this this extra FSI that you get as a result of this, you are able to, monetize it, and you are able to fund the infrastructure. There was an issue that how do you value this additional FSI, how do you value it? And there were various problems of lack of transparency, lack of, various other problems. So that was resolved because you have a transparent mechanism whereby you decide the ready reckoner price or the circle rate as it is called in North India. So everything now is indexed to the circle rate. Therefore, the formula is very clear. And in these ways, several mechanisms in Maharashtra has been built back, of monetization of the existing limited scarce resource of land has been worked out. And I would like to tell you that Mumbai and MMR region is perhaps the only region in India which actually organizations here, the BMC, the MMRDA, SETCO, MHADA, we do not look at the government as our primary source of revenue. We look into ways and means whereby we can raise our own resources. For instance, last year, we have been able to raise an infrastructure pipeline which will be executed over the next 10 years, which overall works up to $100 billion. So this is something which we have done without involving the government of Maharashtra, and later on we involved them. And as the government of Maharashtra got, of course, the chief minister, the deputy chief minister, they are all chairmen of our authority. So that way, the urban development secretary is a part of our authority. The finance secretary is a part of our authority. So all these people are involved. But as a government, as an entity, we did not involve them. We went to them for certain things, like multilateral loans when you take, so for government guarantee. So in this way, that's what I said. The most important thing is money has to be available. But I think today money is available. What is missing, and I think I'm very happy that such events are happening, is the skill set to acquire that money, manage that money, use the money, and not use the money in a project which does not pay for itself, so that you are able to maintain the fiscal discipline.
Sir, very enlightening update which you have given. It is extremely interesting to know how MMRDA has not only monetizing assets through sale, but also optimizing return on land which is available, and through development fees, then impact fees and other mechanisms, which only recently some few other development authority have started following. Thank you, sir, for your insights. I think what you pointed out is very relevant, and Dr. Mukherjee, I'm sure, has this in mind, because when he talks about asset monetization, the servicing part he would definitely take care of, and adequate revenue from either such monetization or alternate sources would be provided in the escrow to ensure timely servicing of the debt.
I'll make a very quick response to the point. It's a very, very valid point. I mean, it doesn't matter if I've got, 1 lakh crore in landed assets. What matters is what is the cash, and cash is king.
Yeah.
So I think, see, in governments, and I will be talking from the government perspective, because even if I worked in a company, it was a government company, so I'll talk from that government perspective. Government thinks, so in the government we think कि भाई budget क्या है, और budget में पैसा है क्या, and revenue and expenditure are totally divorced. So I plan my thinking, there is 100 rupees in the expenditure side in my budget, so I plan for this. So that is where I said the skill set comes in. The thinking has to change from a budgetary thinking way to a cash flow way. We have to see what is the cash available. What can be spent in that particular way? And great strides have been made. For instance, in 2004, Maharashtra introduced the budget distribution system, whereby though we have a budget, there is a cash flow which comes in. And so every department gets a particular amount of the budget to spend, And so they spend accordingly. And if you don't spend it, then that lapses. Then you have to again ask. So that is a very simple cash flow. As far as MMRDA is concerned, we do make a budget because the Act requires it. But we manage by looking into what you said, the cash in the bank. And when you take debt, the first thing is that you cannot default. And in government, we are ultra conservative, so we would like to pay the debt a few days before it matures, Because for us, it is not just a default. There are several other spin-offs which happen, which are very difficult to manage once the default does happen. So we have, therefore, we need to change our thinking from the budgetary point of view to a cash flow perspective.
Now, what we see that there are a lot of developmental activities are taking place in the Mumbai Metropolitan Region. So we understand that MMRDA is currently implementing one of India's largest urban infrastructure pipeline, and you have more than 100 projects, including multiple metro corridors. Now, how do you structure financing models for a program of this scale and diversity while ensuring long-term viability? So secondly, how do you prioritize your capital allocation for various different kind of projects, keeping in view the socio-economic impacts? And lastly, how do you take care of challenges like delay resulting from land acquisitions or getting environmental clearance and consequential cost escalations? So these are multiple areas to be managed, and how do you manage to implement so many projects simultaneously and in a very efficient manner?
So if you have to manage a lot of projects, or if you have to manage a large organization, the essential thing is that it doesn't remain individual driven, it has to be systems driven. And you have to create systems, and in MMRDA we have very, very clear-cut, well laid down systems. It's a very professional organization. It's a very lean organization. In fact, only 450, 500 people are on our rolls. Everything else is somebody else is doing it for us. Some expert agency is doing for us. And when you choose partners, then the partners should be among the best that you get. So I'm happy to tell you that we are working with the best in the world and the best in the country, and in every sector, whether it is engineering, whether it is planning, whether it is transport connectivity, or whether it is fundraising. So we are working with the best. So systems driven is the way to do. Second is the issue of prioritization of projects. How do you prioritize project? So as organizations are concerned, see, the government, all these things are governed by an act. And the act gives you the statement of purpose. And that is the essential purpose under which you have to prioritize. So as far as MMRDA is concerned, we are a regional development agency. A regional development agency essentially has to prepare a regional plan. And after it prepares a regional plan, it has to prepare a regional connectivity plan. And it has to ensure balanced development across the region. Now in the MMR region, we have got the country's largest municipal corporation, the BMC. And we have got 9 other small municipal corporations and several other small townships that are there. So we are creating a connectivity plan. And when you create connectivity plan, see, the country is a socialist country, and we are guided by the fundamental principle of equity. So when you talk about equity, that time you have to ensure that the level playing field has to be made available to everyone. If I am fortunate to be born in some place, and this is very fundamental to government thinking, where I have an advantage, then the person who did not have that advantage should, in the course of his life, get that advantage in an equal way. In urban sphere, we do it by connecting. Because land is an asset which is available to many places. And therefore, the huge urban transformation plan that we are doing. Today, we are constructing 337 kilometers of metro lines. This is the largest single metro line network ever attempted at one given point of time by any given agency, single agency. Across agencies, we have taken larger thing, but by a single agency, it's the largest thing. Why metros? Number one, public transport. Number two, the obvious environmental spin-offs. But number three, it connects. And thereby, I don't need to have a house in South Bombay or in BKC to work in BKC or South Bombay. That is the fundamental connectivity. Look at the connectivity. We have given land worth 10,000 crores for the bullet train station free. Of course, why? Because this will connect Thane 10 minutes, Palghar 20 minutes, the Vapi 30 minutes, Gujarat, I think Ahmedabad 1.5 hours. So this is the type of connectivity and this is the type of equity that we are doing. We have built the Atal Setu. We have put in 17,000 crores into that. Now the Atal Setu has connected the hinterland. See, Mumbai, way back we have been thinking of decongesting and this question. Now Mumbai, we had South Bombay, then we thought we'll have BKC, but it's all within the island of Mumbai, you know, the island city and the suburban city. But by connecting, making the Airoli Bridge and the Vashi Bridge, we connected the northern part of that side. Again, we remain starved of land. Now by the Mumbai Trans-Harbour Link or the Atal Setu, you have opened that whole big corridor. And in that whole big corridor, now we are building what we call as Mumbai 3.0 or Tisri Mumbai, which is going to be a fourth generation city. Again, build on the principles of, you know, inclusion, equity. Of course, all the best altas would be included. But look at the price advantage. Now, we are building a bridge connecting the, so I'll just take the coastal road. Connects South Mumbai to Bandra through the Bandra-Worli Sea Link. Beyond that, we are building the Bandra to Warsaw Sea Link. This will connect it to Warsaw. There will be 3 interchanges. So now today we are seeing that the entire South Mumbai is decongested and people can travel to South Mumbai. They'll be able to travel north. Beyond that, we are taking this link from Warsaw to Dahisar, which is the edge of the city of Mumbai. Beyond that, we are taking this from Dahisar to Bhayandar, which is again going into the new upcoming city of Mira Bhayandar. From there, we are taking a sea link, which will go all the way up to Virar. So that is a Uttan Virar sea link. Then beyond that, we are connecting this Uttan Virar sea link to the Delhi-Mumbai Expressway. The Delhi-Mumbai Expressway, the Ahmedabad Road and the Baroda Road, they will go further on where NHAI is constructing a road which will connect it to the Vadhavan thing. So this is the Mumbai-Vadhavan connectivity. On the south, very soon we will be connecting Nariman Point to Cuff Parade. So as we connect Nariman Point to Cuff Parade, the congestion that people are facing at that part, because again, when I talk about equity, then the city has to be good for everybody, rich or poor, black or white. So it has to be, so Nariman Point to Cuff Parade, that is connectivity. Further north, we are building a tunnel from Orange Gate, that is the Eastern Freeway. From the Eastern Freeway, we are connecting that to the Mumbai Coastal Road. So this is one ring. Further north, we are connecting Worli to Shivdi. This will be done by 1 year. So from Worli and Shivdi, which are today totally different places, they will become accessible within a few minutes. This will connect to the MTHL, and then you are straight down to Shivaji Nagar in Navi Mumbai and down to the Palm Beach Road in 4 minutes. So 20 minutes on the MTHL, 4 minutes to the Palm Beach Road. That's the time that it will take. Further north, if we see, further the Eastern Freeway ends at Cheda Nagar. From Cheda Nagar, we are connecting to Anand Nagar in Thane. From Anand Nagar, we are going ahead and we are connecting to, Saket. From Saket, the Saket-Amne corridor, the tenders will be out very soon. So that is another connectivity. Amne connects to the Samruddhi Mahamarg. The Vadodara-Mumbai Expressway will connect at Morbe, and from there it will connect to the MTHL. So this is a kind of connectivity which we are doing, and thereby people in the hinterland who were hitherto deprived of their access to the facilities of the city, say use of this mall and this convention center. This convention center will also benefit. But the person there who wants to see a show here, he will also benefit by coming faster. So the concept of equity, public transport and public good is how we, prioritize our projects. And the third, earlier MMRDA used to do a lot of, works which were not generating return. Now we have put a substantial break to that, and we are doing only bankable projects. So that is one way. And when the banks step in, then I don't need to tell you that they see everything, and they see that we do only those things that they are sure that they'll get their money back. So that is another check that we are having. So this way, as infrastructure grows, the multiplier is 1.5, and the Prime Minister has given the signal that there should be infrastructure-led development. Now, economists say that the multiplier is 1.5. Somehow I think that for places which did not have basic infrastructure, I'm not talking about the superstructure, and I'm not talking about the soft things. I'm talking about basic infrastructure, roads, water supply, public transport, sewerage, etc. So when you provide these things, I think the multiple is far, far more than that, because the time and the facility it gives to a person, and therefore he is able to focus on his core competence, rather than worrying ki bhai main ye bus pakad ke wo bus kaise pakdu. I think this is what is going to make Mumbai and MMR leapfrog in the days to come.
Sir, hearing you, we really feel that we are fortunate to be in Mumbai. Thank you, sir, for this enlightening discussion. We really gained a lot of insights on the critical aspects. And I thank all of you once again for being with us. Thank you.